Week 18, the regular season finale before we head into the playoffs. Howard Bender and I are going to break down the Sunday night game with major playoff implications in the AFC North between the Ravens and the Steelers, but we'll also give you a little insight to the early afternoon games and help you spin to win on Fantasy Spin for this final week of the 2025 NFL regular season. That is Howard Bender. Find him over on X at RotoBuzzGuy. You can find me at Colby R. Conway. So, Howard, we're obviously going to spin for Ravens Steelers, but we got to talk a little bit about the main slate. Usually that's what the Sunday show here is, but we're going to focus on that AFC North showdown when we actually get into the spins. That's a little win and in. So let me ask you this before we start talking about some of these games. How big are you into the Week 18 incentives narratives? If you get someone like Stephon Diggs, are you locking him in because he's like 90-some yards and a couple touchdowns away? Just how much are incentives a part of your Week 18 strategy?
I mean, it really does depend on the player, right? I mean, Stephon Diggs clicked in a couple of extra incentives. I mean, he needs like 30 yards right now to trigger like a $250,000 bonus, and that's great. But I mean, his next bonus doesn't kick in until 130 yards. So am I looking at that? No. Am I looking at Rico Dowdle needing 7 yards so that he can, find his way into $1 million? No, I'm not. However, there are some milestones that I do actually kind of like, and I'll tell you one that I tell you what, if he locks into our lineup, like if we get to spin him on the main slate lineup eventually, Michael Wilson. I kind of look at him and I say, all right, well, Marvin Harrison Jr. is out once again. Jacoby Brissett will be under center. They're playing against the Rams, who will probably take their foot off the gas at some point, simply because if San Francisco wins on Saturday, the Rams have nothing to play for. They're not moving. They're not going to, change to a 5 seed. They have no shot at that. So they'll end up staying as the 6th seed. They'll probably take their foot off the gas. Michael Wilson is 93 yards away from his very first 1,000-yard season. And I've been very bullish on Michael Wilson over the last several weeks. And so, yeah, you know what? Something like that, because he's a free agent next year. He wants to kind of pad that resume. Jacoby Brissett is one of those guys who will help him pad that resume because, Jacoby doesn't know where he's going to be next year. He doesn't know if he's going to be the starter or not. So a guy like that, yeah, I will pay attention to what kind of incentives and milestones he's ready to hit.
Well, the next question I was going to ask you is who's basically in the early slate, the 1 and 4 o'clock games Eastern time, someone that you are definitely going to lock in. And Michael Wilson was going to be my guy. So you kind of you stole my thunder on that one. It's if he's coming up, I'm locking him in against the Rams ones a few weeks back. He went for, I think it was 124 or 142 and multiple scores. No Marvin Harrison in that
140. It was 140. It was 8. I think it was 18 targets, right? 15 catches.
And the Rams corners have been so bad in recent weeks. Emmanuel Forbes kind of leading that charge. He's been so bad. You can throw on the Rams, and you're absolutely right. The Rams could have the backups in there, and Wilson 93 yards. I like that one. There are some other incentives kind of going around too. Like I think Justin Jefferson is 50-some yards away from
1,000 yards. Yep.
So that's another one. There's incentives all over the place. Some people say, I don't look into it too much. Others say, yeah, it's actually a big part of my Week 18 strategy. So curious to see kind of what you thought there with like Diggs, and you even headlined Wilson there as well. What do you think about like teams with like Philly, who's likely resting guys? Green Bay's probably resting players for the most part. Like, are you looking at, like, for example, like Justin Jefferson, just because he's getting Packers backups? Is he like someone you have to lock in? Like, how do you balance the going against the non-starters versus just like the actual player in his own situation?
Well, I mean, it's kind of funny because, yeah, Green Bay is going to be, sitting in that sense, right? If we were to land J.J. McCarthy on a spin, I would consider J.J. McCarthy simply because Green Bay is definitely taking their foot off the gas, and he needs to show what he's capable of doing. Like, does Minnesota go and look for another, quarterback in the draft or whatnot? So, that's kind of the thing there. I'm definitely eyeballing, because I think the Saints, while they've won 4 in a row, I'm kind of looking at this Atlanta side a little bit more. We saw Bijan Robinson get a ton of volume last week in what is basically a meaningless game for Atlanta. Now, if Tampa Bay wins on Saturday and Atlanta wins, not only do they get a share of that NFC South title, but they'll bounce Tampa Bay from the playoffs with a win. So, when I look at something like that, I don't love the New Orleans Saints anyway. That's a situation where I could see like Bijan Robinson running wild all over again. Maybe they give a nice little tune-up game here for Kyle Pitts or even for Drake London, who's a little banged up.
Yeah. And then two last things. For those spinning in the main event, obviously we're going to focus on the Ravens Steelers and Sunday Night Football. My answer was already Michael Wilson. I already tipped my hand to that one. Who is the one must-lock player from you in the 1 and 4 o'clock windows? You have like Nico Collins, CJ Stroud, tons of stars like that. Who's your one must-lock player?
My one must-lock player. All right. You know what? In Jacksonville, I want Brian Thomas Jr. Okay. I do. I know everybody's so in on Parker Washington right now that it just makes me want to get Brian Thomas so badly. Right? In 2026, the dude's going to be like a 7th round pick, and I'm going to be all in on him on that front. And the 4 o'clock games, I'll tell you what, give me Travis Kelce. Mm-hmm. Last game, it could be, right? We don't know. We don't know if he's going to retire or not, but last game again, that could be. It's in Las Vegas. Could be just a momentous, occasion for him. And let's face it, every time Travis Kelce goes up against the Raiders, he crushes them.
Yep, he does. Nico Collins crushes the Colts. He's one I would be locking in too as well.
I can't wait for that one.
I know. All right, two. I said last one, but two rapid fire ones, super fast. 2026 week 1 is Travis Kelce on the Chiefs roster? Yes or no? 2026 fantasy football drafts, is Bijan Robinson the first overall pick?
Should be, yes.
Fair enough. Let's switch to the AFC North. Ravens Steelers, win and you're in, 4 seed in the AFC, likely probably playing Houston, I would probably assume, looking at kind of how the seeding's breaking out. So Ravens Steelers, it looks like we got Lamar. It looks like Pittsburgh's getting TJ Watt. What do you think about this game? What are we looking at? What's the matchup we want to target?
I tell you what, man, give me Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. Jackson, I know he's been a disappointment for a lot of people, but I mean, listen, another week of health. He's off the injury report. He looks good in practices right now. I think you're going to see some vintage Jackson and Henry. And, Steelers usually do a great job against Lamar Jackson, but now you've got to worry about Derrick Henry on this. No. So I'm totally in on those guys. If we can spin Lamar and Derrick Henry in there, I want to lock it down. On the other side of that game, man, I don't even know if I want any Steelers here. I want Chris Boswell.
Yep.
I want Chris Boswell in my lineup. But, I mean, who else? Darnell Washington might not even play, so maybe I'll go with Pat Freiermuth as a possibility there. But, I mean, Adam Thielen. Oh, let's get Adam Thielen.
Oh. We'll get Lamar Jackson and then the old receivers, Thielen, DeAndre Hopkins. Yes. That's what we're gonna get. All the
vintage lineup. Absolutely.
We'll have two studs and then the all like 2019 team with Thielen and Hopkins, and we'll see what we can get there.
Ew. Oh,
there it is. Thielen and Hopkins right there in the middle. The old man lineup right there in the middle. Thielen and Hopkins. Now we get Rodgers. If at the quarterback spot, if we want to win like this main event contest, we're going to have Lamar, right? Is there a world that Aaron Rodgers outscores Lamar Jackson in a winner go home game?
No.
Okay. Fair enough.
I would, because we only get 3 spins here, I would consider locking in Thielen and Freiermuth and just hope that everybody else that we get comes from the, the Ravens.
Yeah.
Ask Will Ty over at FantasySpin. I don't really have much luck spinning when he's around, so maybe, Colby, you're my lucky charm. I spun a lineup in the last fantasy alarm contest that we ran over there, and I ended up coming in 3rd. So let's hope that it's Will's, lack of presence here.
Yeah, let's see. And we got 2 locks there. On the first one, we can always unlock if need be.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, well, so we do get Lamar. So we're going to lock him in. Don't really care for Loop or the other 2 there. So I think we're spinning for these last 3 flex spots.
I think we are.
And we have yet to see Derrick Henry, but maybe we will get him. That might be as good as you can do.
That is the best third spin that you could possibly have right there.
Derrick Henry, you got Zay Flowers, who's the running mate with Lamar. And I guess the only thing, I mean, if you want to nitpick, yeah, maybe you get Andrews or Likely in there instead of one of the Steelers guys. But at this point, you have the Ravens getting a lead. Jackson and Henry milk it. Flowers gets the early touchdown. And then you got Aaron Rodgers forcing to throw it. And you hope Freiermuth is the tight end that gets the ball.
Those are the only two real, like, legitimate receiving options for him. Like, the only name that I think would have been better than maybe Thielen or Muth would have been Gainwell. But even then, I'm not interested. I love this lineup, dude.
Yep, I like it. So now we got to do a little pick 'em here. So it seems like you're in on Thielen in this one. You want to go Thielen more than 6.4 fantasy points?
Thielen more than 6.4 fantasy points.
And then who are our other two? Henry?
I mean, just do Lamar and Henry. Why not?
Yep.
Why not? I mean, I'm sorry to all my Steelers friends out there, but I think this one's going to be a big Ravens win.
Don't apologize on behalf of the Steelers fans. Someone who grew up in Pennsylvania, I'm allowed to say that. I'm allowed to say it, so you don't have to apologize for that. Let's do one more. Let's give the people one last spin for the final regular season week before we get the eyes to the playoffs and see if we can get anybody else that's worth talking about there. So we get Hopkins again. So we do get Likely. Who do you think scores more fantasy points in this game? Is it Mark Andrews or is it Isaiah Likely?
I don't really know. Like, that's my problem, is that I have no idea of which way we're going to want to go. I would say you might see Likely on the field more with a higher snap count, only because they're going to want to, plow that road for Derrick Henry. So maybe Likely would be the guy on the field a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm going to throw a lock to Likely here. Over the last 4 weeks, Steelers second most fantasy points allowed to tight ends. I'm going to hang my hat on that. I don't know if I feel good about it, but I need something to hang a hat on. And that's what it's going to be.
Spin the rest of this because it's disgusting.
Yeah, we'll get it off. We'll get it off the screen. There's
Boswell. Oh, do you go with a 2 tight end set here, Colby?
I mean, second most fantasy points allowed to tight ends. Let's go both and then hope we can get Lamar on this final spin.
All right.
And if not, we're SOL.
Oh, we're SOL. Oh, gross.
Well, we'll cut this spin out in post. Never happened. It was only the first spin that happened. What a great spin that we had. I don't even know if I can make 3 player props here that I like other than going more on maybe Likely, Andrews, and Boswell.
Yeah, that's probably about it.
Ugh. Yeah, we'll cut that spin in post. That was just that was a train wreck. Look at that lineup. Just imagine going into a main event contest being like, yep, I just got to fade Lamar, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, and literally anybody who's good in this game. And then my lineup has a chance.
What a horrible way to do it.
At least we got the first one there, and we'll have the Sunday main event slates that we can spin in there as well. But Howard, thanks for joining me for the final one of the regular season. Let everyone know where they can find you, what you got going on, or anything else that you want to shout out. The floor is yours.
You can find me on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio on the Fantasy Alarm Show. You can find me all over the pages at fantasyalarm.com. You can find me in the New York Post as well. So, and you can find me next to Colby writing baseball content in the upcoming weeks.
Yeah, we do have that coming out. And as you're on Fantasy Spin, you're trying to spin to win, check out those Fantasy Alarm contests. A lot of fun ones in there. And rumor has it, and past history has it, winners of those contests might even get a little shout out on SiriusXM. So if you finish top of the board, let your name get heard over there on the SiriusXM airwaves. One last time for Howard, at RotoBuzzGuy on X. I'm at Colby R. Conway over on X. And you should head over to the Google Play or the Apple App Store. Download the Fantasy Spin app today so you can start spinning to win. Spin to win, no better time than now. And we will see you on the leaderboard. What's up, y'all? Hope you enjoyed the content. For the avoidance of doubt, please note that I, Colby Conway, am a DFS player entering these contests under the username Colby Conway. The strategies and recommendations in this video do not necessarily reflect the views of Fantasy Spin. Please play responsibly and visit fantasyspin.com/responsible gaming to take advantage of Fantasy Spin's responsible gaming resources.